like Corona. Forever auntie brother.
All right. Well, I feel really low.
Right there, Bilbo Baggins.
I like to sit high. Yeah, you know.
Bilbo Baggins.
Food of a talk. But yeah. We had to cut that part off. Good afternoon, good evening, good night.
I'm leaving that in there.
And good morning. It's a type of news. I'm done
this is
serving.
not late noise. He arrives especially. What he arrives when he intends to.
Why couldn't you get the clip?
You shall not pass. And you know what else isn't gonna pass?
Attacks in your house. Foolishness.
I know those pass all the time. That's just the norm of the day.
Yeah, but I mean, we usually make up really cool nicknames for politicians. I don't know if you heard some.
No, we only had a nickname for Nick Neighborhood Camp.
No, we didn't.
Who else?
Jeff Photo Up Baron.
Okay.
But now I'm taking the photo up from.
Just Jeff Barron?
Yeah, just Jeff Baron.
Just Jeff. He's Jeff.
And then it's Minister for the People Canes. Yeah,
that's not a bad one.
Yeah, this is good. But I'm gonna dub Lieutenant Colonel Burch as Lieutenant Colonel puts his foot in his mouth, Burch. Because I'm gonna tell you this. Since I've been a child, like since we have been little, this man has
you're still little.
Well, that's really wrong. But since we've been young, this guy has said some things that are incredulous. Like when he was gone, I didn't expect anybody to bring him back. I don't get the charm. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, we love somebody who says it like it is and don't care," you know.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, America
we had
did too.
Faye.
No, America like that too. That's why they have Trump. I don't like Trump.
Listen, I say whatever I want.
Okay.
I do whatever I want.
You have to have some sort of couth. You know what I mean? And he's just never had it. And I just never liked that appeal of, I know some people like it, but I feel like that appeal, someone who pulls it off really well, is the PLP. Mark B. He pulls it off.
I like
well.
Mark B.
Now, if we're going to talk about somebody that,
that's one thing I like about Mark Bean and Mike Faye. They would get up there and say the most outrageous stuff in the world. And everybody, like, Mike Faye was considered the most hated man on the island.
Seriously.
Really?
Yeah.
If we can find him.
Yeah, yeah.
And he would still get up there and be like, this is what it is.
Now, I do understand, because he said you're not gonna get me to apologize for that. Now, I do understand what people are saying. Oh, it's not racist. It's not racist because you're just talking about somebody's.
It's not racist.
I personally.
Hold on. Let's get the quote.
Oh, you're using the iPad.
I'm using the iPad. Paid money for it. Might as well use it.
Yeah, he just.
Wrong article.
Phase up.
I had it. Go ahead, proceed.
No, I'm just like, well, pull it up, pal.
I'm good. Okay, here you go. The quote was, "You must produce somebody to take your place other than an Indian."
Listen. To play devil's advocate, in context, the statement could be warranted. Because in context, if you're talking about like, okay, you're just using someone's nationality. But here's my issue with it. I don't think that it's as much racist as it is discriminatory. Because it's for me, it's more along the lines of, you have belittled the man. You know what I mean?
Because he's not.
Because I can't say based off of context that Colonel Burch looks down on Indians.
I don't see you looking down on anybody with those earrings.
But what I will say is that my issue,
man wears hooper rings.
my issue with the whole statement is this: if you're gonna say that about somebody, you're disregarding the fact that they have status. That's my issue. Now, in order to get Bermudian status, you have to be here for about 15 years, 20 years, or married.
Actually,
right?
it says here that he came in 1978 to 1979. This man has had citizenship longer than we've been alive.
Yeah.
He's been a citizen of Bermuda longer than I've been a citizen of Bermuda.
And that's paying taxes, and that's my big issue with it. And it shows you that mentality. You know, that slip of the tongue always shows you something about the mentality of the PLP as a whole. Because not one of them stood up in
Some
the
members of the PLP.
Not one of them said anything in the house to check their colleague. And can no one tell me...
The Premier said something afterwards, but I really feel that he only said something afterwards because it turned into a thing.
I don't care. Like, he knew who he was bringing back. Colonel Burch ain't changed.
But he has Bermudian status, so it's like, oh, because he's an Indian and because he ain't black.
Well, that's the difference between us taking a stance against the commissioner's succession versus the Chief Justice's succession, because it's a big difference. One of them is not from here and has not been here, nor has any sort of status, and that is the new commissioner.
That's
whereas
my main...
with Chief Justice, he has been here
for how long?
Longer than we've been alive, and he's got status. So what you've done is you've minimized...
1978 was 40 years ago.
You minimized his status. You minimized his status, and you basically said that you won't look at him any other way than him being an Indian.
Mm-hmm.
You looked at his face. Because he looks like an Indian, doesn't look like this, to you he's not Bermudian. That's what your statement connotates, and that's why people are upset. It's not like you said, oh, there's dirty Indians or this or that. Like, it wasn't like a fully attacking quote, but it was what connotated with that quote, that you basically said that because he doesn't look like you or your PLP colleagues, that he's not Bermudian, and that is the problem.
And if for those of you that would like to defend this by saying, oh, this isn't a racing, if it wasn't, then his ethnicity wouldn't have been brought up.
At all. Because he has status.
It wouldn't have been. It is a race thing because things are only a race thing when you bring race into them.
Exactly.
If he would have said, oh, a non-Bermudian,
that still would have been wrong.
It still would have been wrong, but it wouldn't have held the weight of saying an Indian.
If our politicians had bothered to be politically correct for once in their life, he would have said, I would rather you give succession. There's no way to say it, actually.
No, not really.
You know, I was thinking about it, there's no way to say it. Because if you had said, you'd rather leave it to someone who isn't of Indian descent, still derogatory.
It doesn't matter how you package it. You just should have...
Yeah.
You know, you should have been like, oh... I mean, if he had just come off the boat, then I could understand it.
The whole stance is wrong. You know?
Like, if he had just come here, Jesus, like our new commissioner,
yeah,
I could understand it. But he's been here for 40 years.
Yeah, and we have Bayesians, we have Trinis, we have Filipinos, we have a lot of people that have been here for years.
Jamaicans.
Yep.
Jamaican Canadians.
Yep.
Jamaidians. Which sounds better, Jamaidians or Jamaicans?
Canadians.
Canadians?
Yeah.
Canadians. I like that. I'll co-sign that. Canadians.
Let's
got ourselves a Canadian.
Once we start doing tiers of society. Now, when I say tiers, a hierarchy of how Bermudian you are. Like that person over there, that mixes something. Or that person over there, it starts a slippery slope. A very, very slippery slope where we start going into violating people's human rights. Which is something that our country seems to be really wallowing in.
Wait, they're giving the Portuguese a holiday. That's going to make everything better, right?
Except you didn't give them status over that.
Nope. But this Indian man that has status. No. This Bermudian man
of Indian descent
that has status is getting hell because he wasn't born here.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. find that very funny.
Comes back to
Where's
hypocrisy.
Where's the outrage of, all the black-owned businesses that are not owned by people that were born in Bermuda? Speaking of misplaced outrage, you want to go down that rabbit hole, or should we save that for the next one?
I'll say that for the next one.
All right.
But to really outline this Burch thing, this is not the first blunder this man has had in office, and I have to say, it's not being held to the same standard that the OBA was held at. The OBA had to
that Mike Face was held by.
All of them. Like if let's say, I'll just call it a random one, Trish Gordon Panther. She had went up there and said, let's take her Reverend Tweed situation. If she had went up there and said, I don't see why a succession plan can be made that we don't have someone that is American taking over that post.
That's another thing. Why are you guys championing behind Reverend Tweed?
But imagine if she had said that.
What year did Reverend Tweed come here?
Who cares?
Oh.
Like, my thing is, nobody was championing this point because all that came out of that situation was that, she went to the church, it was something personal. So it must be something personal here for Colonel Burch to instantly go straight to this man's nationality. Like, it's got to be something.
No, his
more
ethnicity.
than that.
His nationality is
Yes,
Bermudian.
His ethnicity. Sorry. Yep, that's true. See, I'm not politically correct.
It's okay, we're learning, but we're not politicians.
Nope, that's right. But
not yet.
yeah, but it's like my biggest issue with it is that the PLP and its supporters continue to put on this mask of, we're not race baiting, we're not putting out divisive rhetoric, we're not standing on, we believe all Bermudians should have equal rights, and we believe for a fairer Bermuda for all Bermudians, and that's what you
But
stand
that's
on.
a fair Bermuda for all Bermudians that aren't Portuguese, not born in Bermuda. Well, not black and not born in Bermuda. If you're black and came to Bermuda, then that's okay. But if you're Indian, no, that's not okay. British, no, that's not okay. Even though we're British citizens, that's not okay. Filipino, not okay.
Canadian.
Portuguese, not okay.
Canadians are not okay.
Okay.
Hey, unless, the current government signed a deal with them. But anyway, so we're going to that another episode. But the whole thing is, if you have that discriminatory thing and the PLP continues to say, well, we're not divisive, we're not doing this, we're not doing that, it's the OBA, but yet your policies are not reflecting anything of equality to me, because you've been whipped twice in same-sex marriage and you're going back for a third licking. You gave the Portuguese a holiday, but you won't give them status. You say people can come here from India and get status, but when they go for higher ranking positions after 30, 40 years, you're saying, oh, well, he's an Indian. His status means nothing to me. So it to me, once the PLP sheds that guise that, we are a party for blacks.
How about y'all be a party for everybody?
Yeah, or just be upfront about it. At least have the integrity to say, well, we are a party for blacks. And for black people who support a party that's just for them, you can't get mad at another party being just for the other side.
And you know what pisses me off? They always say, we need more diversity in the workplace. We need more diversity in schools. We need more diversity in the economy. We need more diversity in the PLP.
All right.
Because I'm sorry, but the Progressive Labour Party, while I don't have a problem with the exact organization, is not a good representation of Bermuda.
Government as a whole.
Government as a whole is not a good representation of Bermuda, because all you have is black people and well-off white people. That's not Bermuda.
No, we have Portuguese people scattered in there. We have no Filipino.
Nope.
Bermudians.
When the One Bermuda Alliance came up back in 2012, I was hoping that they would have brought more diversity, but that quickly turned into the white man show. Very quickly. Unfortunately, it's just the truth.
Just a fact.
I mean, when my dad started, I was gung ho 100% behind it, but it turned into the monster that it created itself to destroy. Wow, that was good. That was a good one.
Yeah, well, I'll pat you in the shoulder.
I felt like Obi-Wan
Yeah.
You are my brother, Anakin! You swore to destroy the Sith, not join them!
Well, they joined them alright.
High ground!
You got a Sith in your house.
Well, I wouldn't call him a Sith.
Yeah, well.
He's like Darth Maul. Like, he joined the Sith, but the Sith screwed him over, so now he's doing his own thing. Darth Maul didn't die in episode 1, Ross Rebels. Either way, I digress. That actually is my dad's favorite Star Wars character. Moving on. Yeah, see, I want... If the government and the opposition both seek to be a good representation of Bermuda, then having... Out of 36 candidates, only 2 of them are white, right?
2 of them are what?
Of the POP are white.
Out of their party?
Out of the 36 constituency people that ran.
I think it's Grandma and Zan, isn't it?
So you have 1.5 white people.
Oh. 1.5 white people. Listen.
Yeah, I said it.
Listen. Okay. But that's true. Yeah, absolutely.
Because he don't consider himself white.
No. Even though...
And apparently Portuguese people is... It's like less than black, but not quite white. So it's just like that.
Which is a dynamic that really...
It is very unique.
Exists here.
Yeah. It's very, like...
The European... Anywhere else.
This is what I'm saying. Portuguese people, it's such a pariah. It's very odd how they stand in our society, because it's like we love everything they create, we love everything they do, but we don't love them. But we like them enough to not discriminate against them as much as the Filipinos and Indians, but not quite as much as... It's very confusing.
Yeah, and really, we don't even consider them completely white.
No,
but they are European.
Because even Portuguese people, all of my Portuguese friends, all my Portuguese cousins are all like, oh no, we're Portuguese, we're not white.
No way.
Because they have been ingrained for so long that you are not white and you are not black, you are in your own little corner, which is wrong. Which is why we're getting a specific Portuguese day, not a white day.
Oh, no, you can never have a white holiday.
We have Christmas.
Well, if you had a white holiday, it would be a guy in a colonial suit running around snatching stuff out of other people's baskets.
Easter.
You have representative of every other culture, and then you have the white guy.
Columbus Day.
Yeah,
that is the epitome of a white holiday.
Jesus. Yeah. And
I found this, even though there's other people here, we created it. See. There you go. That's your white holiday. It's literally based around cultural appropriation.
And this is the thing. What we're touching on here is nationalism, and it's something that we as Bermudians constantly criticize America for. I mean, we sat here and we said, I can't believe they elected that man Trump. All Trump is doing is saying white power. Like this guy, all Trump is doing is saying strong immigration, which is exactly what
he's
the
saying. White power
saying.
Without saying white power.
Well, I mean, he might as well have. He said Latinos come over here and they just rape and steal stuff. So it's like whenever he says things like that, Bermudians say, "Oh, I can't believe that Trump would say something like that. Oh, that man's silly. That man's silly. Oh, his racist." But then you turn around and you have Colonel Burch, who's black nationalist, goes out there and says something as bigoted as what Trump would say, and it's completely kind of smack on the wrist from the black community. It's like, we don't really want them Indians. And
what would have impressed me, what would have really impressed me would have been if the premier would have called him out in
the house. Yes,
when he should have.
Yes,
because that behavior he said that behavior will not be tolerated, but clearly it was.
Because it's their mindset. And because Burch slipped up in the house and said it out loud, now they're trying to...
Burch.
I said Burch.
You said Burch.
I said Burch.
Burch, whatever.
Because Burch said it out loud and slipped out, now all of a sudden the PLP is kind of trying to backpedal away from him. But my thing is, he wouldn't have been in that party if that mindset wasn't accepted. He wouldn't have been brought back into politics if that mindset wasn't accepted. And he wouldn't have had the goal to stand there and say, well, I'm not apologizing for it, if that mindset wasn't accepted. And people wouldn't be defending that comment if that mindset wasn't accepted. So when you look at the mirror, Trump's white nationalism versus the PLP's black nationalism, you have identical. They are identical.
Didn't the PLP have Trump's advisors?
Yeah, well, I wish we could get that on paper. Jesus, I wish. And it's identical. And for people here to be so against Trump and so supportive of the PLP shows me that even though the PLP supporters still won't admit that this was a race election, they still want to sit there and say, well, it was the PLP's policies and it was the PLP's ideas.
Isn't the PLP doing the same thing the OBA was doing?
PLP has run this government exactly the same as the OBA. And the thing is, the only difference is why you guys don't support Trump is because he's white. And his white nationalism is a threat to you. But black nationalism is not a threat to you. So you are no better than those white Americans peddling that crap over there for Trump. Okay? No freaking better. Because the nationalism is okay if it's in your favor. So you can now go to a Trump voter and shake the hand and say, I understand why you voted Trump in. I do. I understand why you support nationalism because it makes you feel safe and cuddly at night. That your government has your best interest in heart and everyone else who isn't you is out in the cold. And that is a mentality that I feel like you guys really need to look at and adjust and not pass on to your children.
And not even expect from the... Because the thing is, there are good apples in the PLP. There are.
Good apples everywhere.
There's good apples everywhere. But unfortunately, the old school stigma is still very much stamped on the party. So what I would hope is that this... I sincerely doubt it. But... if it happens, I'll be pleasantly surprised. Is that this Colonel Burch fiasco wakes people up a little bit to say, hey, we should expect better from our politicians. And I hope that the Premier will be able to, in the House of Assembly, say the things that he says out of it. Because this behavior should not be tolerated. Because when one member of a party speaks, they speak for the entire party.
Simple. You all have a narrative.
Kim Wilson got up there and she spoke about how she feels that we should send some of our prisoners away that need mental health issues because they can't get the care that they deserve. I 150% support that. But when you say stuff like that and say stuff like an Indian who's been here, no, see, are you messing it to me? A Bermudian who was born in India that's been here for 40 years can't do a job even though he has Bermudian status. It's like trying to shoot a catapult in a glass house. You're gonna break some stuff along the way.
Yeah, I mean, look at the mirror here. Trump is going against the courts, going against the law.
Everything.
PLP going against the law. Courts have ruled in favor of same-sex. Appealing again.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying the mirrors. Trump says things derogatory about anything that is not his race. PLP says derogatory things about anything that isn't their race. Both say they're trying to fix the country and make it great again. But when will we accept that only having one group of people's livelihood in your mind, like only taking care of one group of people because of the majority, is not the way forward for a smooth running government
and not even a
beneficial country. No, it's not. It's not a massive majority, and it's
like 51,
it's really
55%.
I just can't. I can't understand how folks can't see how clear as day these likenesses are, and they refer to Trump as they refer to the OBA as the Trump of Bermuda because of run by white people,
Rich white people.
Yeah, but really, the OBA hasn't been half as nationalistic as the PLP has been. And I hope that we save some lives today because really that is something that has to die and has to die quick. It's been that type of news. I'm Dr. Perman, Bruce Robinson. Peace in the Middle East. I ain't gonna stand for Burch. Okay?